everyone, good to see you again. This is my 23rd vlog and please meet me halfway. This is a continuation of my vlog of last week where I discussed my fear was as a bouncer in front of the door for love and didn't let anyone in. Together with attracting the wrong man, I think that was my 4th vlog, and attracting the unavailable man. And my 6th vlog was about do not text him. So, like, as everything in life is like a combination of lessons that we learn, and it's like a continuation of all these lessons that I gained during this time, and sometimes it feels like I'm coming back at point zero, and then I'm like, oh no, I did learn some other lessons. So last week I discussed with you about that I had fear as a bouncer, that my fear didn't let anyone in. And also that I did a beautiful session with Simona, and she helped me to really see like the inner masculine protecting the inner feminine. But because I have very strong reasons of a man needs to show himself to me so I could be safe to show myself. And of course this is good, especially when it's around emotionally unavailable men. However, what I did see is like in another retreat I did before I went to Thailand, is that the lessons I learned were that it's maybe not about the men, but my approach towards these men. So it doesn't mean necessarily that all these men are emotionally unavailable, but if you approach from a place of fear, then this is what you're destined to attract. And so I had a huge opportunity here to experiment with this feeling and how does this work. And so when I would be interested in someone, I want the other person to come halfway, so I show my interest, and now I start to learn to show my vulnerability and how I feel. But I always have the feeling like the other person needs to come halfway. The other person needs to show me that he has interest. But I discussed this week with a man. He said but your interpretation of a man could be completely different than what a man is trying to do. Men are not as courageous as that we women sometimes think. And because of that, I started discussing to really see, okay, what is it, how can I show my interest? Because I had the feeling that I was already showing my interest. And I had the feeling that I was already sharing oh, there is interest, but sometimes not only the man, but also me has to come halfway. And what does that mean? I thought oh, just by showing my vulnerable self, I don't have to do anything. And of course we don't have to do anything for love, but it's sometimes good, apparently, to show a little bit oh, I do have some interest here. So when referring to the vlog of do not text him, my vlog was really about we should not text from a place of wanting, but of a place of giving. So whenever we are insecure and we want to send the other person a message in the hope that we get the confirmation that the other person likes us, I still stay with that I don't believe that is a good place to start from. But what this man this week taught me was really okay, what if you approach from a place of yourself of what you want to give? So if you feel you have interest, why don't you share this to show the interest? It doesn't mean the other person has to come halfway, but at least you took your step. And wow, this is something scary for me. This is really okay, I thought showing my vulnerable self and ooh, this was already a whole a challenge, and I thought that was already vulnerable enough, but no, like I have to take a step to actually show my interest. And somehow I have the conditioning that if I show interest, that the other person think I want it too badly. I don't know where this conditioning is coming from, but like we shouldn't be too interested, too needy, too whatever, because men don't like that. You probably as women know this very well, like you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this, like blah blah blah, because men don't like it. Men like independent women, men like this, men like that, men like... And believe me, because of my experiences of so many years of being single, I've got them all stored somewhere inside of me, like, oh, I shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that, blah blah blah. So to show my vulnerability and to express really if I'm interested in someone, that is something else. And but what I learned this week as well is like, okay, if I stay close to myself, and I mean like close to myself, even though like the feelings might go all the way, to really stay with myself from a place of center and self-love, and a place of giving instead of receiving, that I'm able to meet the other person halfway without losing myself, without, it's more like unconditional giving, and it's extremely vulnerable. And I noticed when I did that I immediately wanted to be met from the other halfway. But it's not about that. It's all about like letting go of this, I guess, and just give what I have to share. And yeah, this makes me very vulnerable, very visible, and especially with these vlogs, I'm experimenting with being vulnerable and showing myself, but this is already really like sometimes fully out of my comfort zone. But related to a man, this exceeds all my vulnerability feelings. And especially because it's possible that that the other person might see this video as well. That is even more scary, but yeah, whatever. I'm doing this video because of the fact that I want to share my journey, that I want to share my insights, my teachings, and by helping you, I also help myself very clearly. Something else I heard this week was a very, very important lesson for me as well, because being attracted to emotionally unavailable men, someone said, if someone is emotionally unavailable and you keep giving, and I could feel like, okay, if I come across that kind of person, I just want to be seen by the other person. And we just give our love, and I give our love, and more and more and more. And in an unhealthy relationship, this person wants to receive this love, and it's never good enough. And in a healthy relationship, it's most likely that the other person, it would be overwhelming. So what I saw for myself in the past is that when I felt the trust of like the connection is good, I started sharing all of myself. And the other person got like freaked out, and now I understand how it works. I'm still practicing, like I'm still learning this whole thing. But what I understood is like coming halfway is in all parts of it. So you take a step and the other person takes a step, and the other person takes a step and you take a step. So if you would create safety within the relationship, I understand like you just take a step each time, and no matter how safe it feels, you just take a step extra and the other person takes a step, and bit by bit you grow in it. And what I did was, when I felt safe, as I said, I was like, okay, here I am with all my love and everything I have to give, and the other person would be like, whoa, 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 like let's take it easy. And I was always like, I felt rejected by this, but now I understand this, like with a healthy relationship, it's like meeting each other halfway each time. And sometimes you take a step extra and the other person takes a step extra. And for me, related to the fact that I want to attract a person who's willing to take a step extra for me, because I am willing to take an extra step for the other person, it still means that I have to take a step halfway. I can't just keep waiting for my safety to be there. I have to be vulnerable and open myself to this. So, yeah. So to wrap it up, I think, because I think this is it, like I think this is the sharing I wanted to give to you. So I keep want to stress on the fact, like, only text from a place of giving, only text when you want to, not when you want to receive something, but when you want to give something. And really from a place of love instead of insecurity. And as soon as you feel insecure, do not do anything, just wait. Wait till you or receive something and get the confirmation you're waiting for, or send from a place of love and giving. Secondly is stay close to yourself. Don't try to do anything. You don't need to do anything to receive love. Stay close to yourself to really feel and tap into it. And how would that man inside of you hold you in the situation where you are right now? If you're grumpy, if you're sad, if you're unstable, how would that, like, man you want to invite in your life, how would he hold you? And feel that love, like, feel that love. You don't have to do anything, you can just be you. You don't have to be ready or healed to be ready to receive. Or and then the third one is stay vulnerable. This is such a difficult one for me. I didn't understand how difficult it was, but yeah, this is my biggest challenge, I guess. So stay vulnerable. And the last but not least, stay open to receive. So this vulnerability is like it needs to be confirmed immediately. As soon as you open your heart, it's like, oh my God, I'm so open, he needs to come this way. But it's like, no, I'm open to receive whatever it is, because I'm here to give. So that's it for today. Thank you all for watching again. I'm really, really looking forward to see you next week. And please leave a reply or a like or a love message if you can relate to this topic. I would love to hear your point of view of this, and if you see it differently or if it was helpful for you. Lots of love from Thailand still, and hope to see you next week. Ciao, with love.